You are officially in the loop. Welcome to In the Loop podcast. I am your host, Jo Hollabaugh, professional rodeo athlete, entrepreneur, and a full-time cowgirl. I'm married to my best friend, and we are blessed to get to do what we love every day, and that is travel around the world and rodeo. My goal on this podcast is to promote the Western industry, and specifically the sport of breakaway roping. On In the Loop, we bring you behind-the-scenes stories of what real life looks like every day, from cowgirls, cowboys, industry leaders, producers, trailblazers, and all of the like. You are now officially in the loop. Let's get to it. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of In the Loop podcast. And as you all know, it is officially Women's Rodeo World Championships time of year. The WRWC is coming up, and everybody is excited about getting to go to the Women's Rodeo Finals here in May. It's going to be here before we know it. So today I am accompanied with Linsay Rosser-Sumpter and Sami Jo Smith with the WRWC. Ladies, thanks for coming to the podcast.
Yay. Thanks for having us. I love coming on your podcast. I feel like it's like coming home week because I've been on a couple times. And, we love listening to everything in the loop and everything that Jordan Jo has. So thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Well, thanks. This is my getting to be an annual tradition for us, the Women's Rodeo World Championships Week. And we're the official podcast of Women's Rodeo. So we talk about all things women and female athletes and rodeo. And, $1.2 million being paid out. No big deal. Just chump change. I mean, especially for women in rodeo. So let's dive right into it. We're pretty pumped. This Women's Rodeo World Championships event's coming up May 12th through 14th. And big finale on the 17th. So Sami Jo, you are the brains behind all of this that people don't know. We appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about what's coming up and what we're looking forward to from now until the Women's Rodeo World Championship Finals.
Well, it's hard to believe this is our 6th year of bringing women's rodeo to the sport, to Texas. A couple years ago, Mayor Maggie Parker gave us a proclamation of naming it Women's Week. And since Linsay and I have been fully focused on Women's Rodeo World Championship, I think we are very proud of the bar that we raise every single year and really just continuing to push the envelope, bring more money to the sport, bring more opportunity, but most importantly, bring the biggest stage for women to compete in. And it was an honor, Jordan, watching you rope in it last year. But big thanks to PBR and WCRA for backing up women's rodeo and really giving us that platform. But yes, it's our 6th year. We've done a little bit of revision and adding this year. So we're 3 days at Cowtown Coliseum, Monday through Wednesday, May 12th through the 14th. And we kick the week off with our gala and back number ceremony. We could potentially be giving 400 back numbers away on Sunday night, May 11th, which is Mother's Day. And it was so cool last year. It was our first year. Everybody got dressed up. They were looking amazing. The sponsors, Tito's is a part of that welcome gala. Cowgirl magazine brings the back number ceremony. So it really is just a celebration, cowgirls supporting cowgirls and letting the girls take their cowboy hats off, get dressed up, curl their hair, and come have a little bit of fun. So, but then brand new, we really pride ourselves on bringing an inclusive environment for all types of athletes. And normally in the team roping and breakaway, we've had to wait for the end of the showdown round to see who actually gets to compete inside AT&T Stadium. Well, this is the first year after the semifinals. We're going to have 3 pros, 3 challengers, and then in the barrels and breakaway, we bring 1 limited athlete, and they get to duke it out inside AT&T Stadium on Saturday, May 17th. So we're paying out $802,000 this year. That includes our brand new Smarty Rodeo goat tying showcase, and then the limited. Plus, we're partners with Cowgirl Gathering. So I'm getting into everything we got going on, but it really is going to be an exciting week, and we can't wait to see everybody show up and yeah, the knife fights that are going to happen for that $60,000 check at AT&T Stadium. So,
well, and just getting to, it's such just an accomplishment, obviously, to be there, right? We're so excited to be there and have this event that's specifically targeted for women to compete at that level is just amazing. But then to make it through and advance all the way through, I can just say backing in the box at AT&T last year, but phenomenal, and just getting to compete there was amazing. And, it's everybody, however many cowgirls we have over in the hundreds will be there competing with the same goal in mind. Right. But so to make it to the end last year for me was super special. Just to be the official podcast of the WRWC, be such a big part of it and all the things. It just was so surreal. So it was so much fun. But I want to touch a little bit, Linz. Let's talk about that gala. I mean, I have to say this year, could we do name cards? Because I literally didn't know half of my competitors, because when you let your hair down, you put some makeup on and get the sparkles out, like, hello, ladies.
Everybody came to the nines for sure. It
was. And you had this amazing red outfit on. Imagine that. So talk us through just backing up what it's like to feature these cowgirls and give them that special treatment and why you guys made that such a priority.
Well, we made it a priority because it's a year-long race. The cowgirls are nominating rodeos and going to our qualifier series throughout the country just to get qualified for Women's Rodeo World Championship. So don't think of it as like a one-off event. Think of it as a year-long race. And these cowgirls have spent so much time and effort to be in the top 20 on the leaderboard and to, win a qualifier series spot to try to get to Women's Rodeo World Championship that day. So with that being said, we had Cowgirl Magazine that wanted to do the back number ceremony and make sure that they were celebrated. We used to do like a press conference on the steps of Cowtown Coliseum, and it just didn't feel enough for us. It didn't feel enough for Sami, Jo, and I, and it just didn't feel like it had the prestige that these ladies deserved. And so we, reached out to Cowgirl Magazine and Tito's Vodka, and they were like, let's have a gala. Let's let them get dressed up. Let's have music and DJs and Olivia Harms playing and go to Tannehill's and just have that whole ambiance. And then when our fairy godmother, Pam Minnick, allowed us to have a Pam Minnick Lifetime Achievement Award, there was no better place than at the back number ceremony gala to award it last year to Miss Reba McEntire. So, with all of the great things that we're putting together with Women's Rodeo, I think that it has to be that way. It has to have that feel to where you can actually go shopping and get something, custom made like Sami Jo does. She's very good at that. And, have that dress and just be celebrated. And the coolest part for me is that it's on Mother's Day. It allows you to get dressed up. It allows you to come out and get to town and have a great time. And so that was kind of like the focus behind it, was just to really have that world championship feel, because these ladies do compete all year and nominate events across the country all year to try to get there.
Well, and it is such a feel, and it's just such a blessing, honestly, to be able to do that. Nobody else does that, right? And that's something that, maybe we see a little bit at the NFR, the top 15 get to do it, but here, everybody that's a part of the Women's Rodeo World Championship gets to do it. And everybody wants to be a part of the Women's Week, right? Like that is the big, like everybody's doing it. So, if you're not doing it, you need to be doing it. But Sami Jo, I want to talk to you a little bit. We're paying out over $802,000 this year. Where did we start 6 years ago? And what has it been like to evolve into the payout? I mean, 800,000, at the end of all of it within the Cowgirl Gathering and the WRWC combined payouts, $1.2 million. Like, Let me just say that again, $1.2 million. So what's it been like for you guys on this journey to get to the place you're at now?
Yeah, well, I would go back to Chicago in 2020 when Gary McKinney and Sean Gleason stood in the arena and said, it's time. These girls need a space. And when they announced Women's Rodeo and it was equal money across the board, $187,500 per discipline, that's headers and heelers included, the snowball effect happened. Then the American brought the breakaway in, not added, or not equal, but they were in there. And then after that, more and more associations started bringing the breakaway in. So in terms of the industry, it's amazing to see where it's come. But for women's alone, year one was a 6-month segment. It was open entry, and it was kind of a free for all of what's going to happen. But now coming into year 6, we have 3 tiers: Pro, Challenger, and Limited. We have this partnership with the APHA where their event alone adds, I believe, over $100,000. And I need to double check that. I actually think it's 300,000. But so yeah, the amount of added money that's coming in for each discipline. And then of course the goat tires are, they picked up the phone after the CNFR last year and were so bummed they weren't a part of the $10,000 the CNFR bonus that we gave, that WCRA gave. And so Linsay and I got together with Stacy Martin and we're like, okay, it's time. So because of our goat tying showcase, because the college rodeo girls have been nominating all year, they're now eligible for the top hand bonus at the CNFR, along with competing for our goat tying showcase, which is $10,000 added. So it really is, we've come a long way. This is our first year where women's rodeo actually has an association behind us. So we're Women's Rodeo Championships. Everyone's purchasing their cards. We're offering tiering. Chris Neal is one of our top breakaway producers. This year, he's going to have a challenger roping and a limited roping at all 4 of his CN production events. We are partners with Kimes Ranch $1 Million Breakaway, and they had their first ever challenger showcase during the $1 Million Breakaway, where the girls who are purchasing our cards that we're classifying are being given these exclusive opportunities to rope within their tier, rope just against challengers, but still have a chance to be a part of these events and compete for really good money. So I think Linsay and I can speak for our whole organization that we are so proud to see where tiering has gone for breakaway, what we offer with Pro, Challenger, and Limited. And I just hope that 5 years from now, our payout has doubled because of everything that we're doing, and the participation is increasing. And when my daughter turns 18 and is roping, she'll have, quadruple the amount of opportunities because of what women's rodeo has done. And so we're really proud of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, obviously we think about the future and everything you guys are doing. And as you look back and go through that, I think it's so neat because it's the little consistent steps that you guys have done over and over and over again, every year consistently, to build it to what it is. And just to think in 5 years, 10 years from now, we're going to be younger, obviously. But,
Sure.
Yeah. And when your daughter's there, I'm definitely going to look the same as I do now. So yeah, but it's so cool to see, like, it's just the consistency over and over again, and you guys adding that and improving that. Literally every year I've been a part of this over the last 6 years has been improvements, and they've been dedicated towards cowgirls. So Linsay, I want to talk to you a little bit goat tying. Like, goat tires are crazy, obviously. You were a goat tire. I learned the goat tying. I don't want to call myself a goat tire. It was more of a mental block. But yeah, so let's talk about, we're adding these new events. We have barrels, breakaway, team rope, and goat tying. You're in the college rodeo realm. I mean, what does that look like? What doors does that open for more women athletes, their competitors, that now the all-around race is going to look a little bit different?
Absolutely. And you got to think about, you're of the generation, I'm of the generation that when we got done with college rodeo, we kind of had to hang our rope cans up unless we were in, a certain region of the country that had amateur rodeo breakaway roping. And so with the goat tying, it's that way for those ladies. And they work so hard to hone in on their craft. You look at girls now are tying goats at 100-foot score in 6 seconds. And if they're not tying them in some sort of sub 6 to 5 second runs, they're not winning anything. The athletic ability that a goat tire has now in this generation is insane. And I'm so excited to be able to showcase it. And like Sami Jo said, we were at the college national finals with the top hand award bonus that we had through the WCRA. There was not an opportunity for the goat tires to really accumulate points and to be on that leaderboard. So they were not eligible to be in that top hand bonus at the college national finals through the WCRA. And so it kind of broke my heart. You know, those girls work so goat tires, like you said, they have their own little
They're
breed.
crazy. Let's just call it like it is. They're crazy.
I'm not going to call them that. I love
They're
those.
crazy.
I was a goat tire. I
Full
know.
blast. We are
But,
crazy. Who runs
I
full
mean,
blast and gets off their horse full blast to tie a small baby goat?
I know. It's awesome. It's so great to watch.
It is one of the funnest events to watch. I will say
It is.
that.
It's the best event to watch at the CNFR. And so we really kind of put our heads together. And like I said, with the help of Stacey Martin and Next Level Goat Tying, we were like, okay, here's the deal. The only way that we can make this work for the college rodeo athletes and women's to have a showcase. Now, it's not a full event at women's rodeo. It's just a showcase. And Smarty jumped on board right away and wanted to sponsor that. So there's 10,000 added in the goat tying showcase, which is probably one of the larger goat tyings in the country. Eligible for college national finals goat tires or college rodeo goat tires. They can nominate their college rodeos to accumulate points on that leaderboard. And so the winner of that gets a Smarty horse customized by Women's Rodeo. They get a saddle, they get a world champion buckle, they get $1,000 bonus, and really get to be put on that platform that they deserve. I mean, I say it a lot. Our whole purpose is to be an inclusive environment for all female rodeo athletes, from beginner to end of career, to you as a professional, to everybody in between, the moms, the doctors, the lawyers, the goat tires. So now that there's an avenue for you to come to Fort Worth that week of Women's Rodeo World Championship, go to the Cowgirl Gathering right before, get into Women's Rodeo World Championship, or, you know, earn your spot in the top 20 in the leaderboard and have a chance to compete at a lot of money and have a chance to go to AT&T in front of 30,000. Now with the way that we have it with 3, 3, and 1, it's anybody's game when you get in that building. We all know that. And so I'm so excited, to have this goat tying showcase and to be able to just spread the word on the athleticism of these ladies. Because when you can get off a horse, and this has been clocked, going 30 miles per hour, stay on your feet and tie a goat in less than 6 seconds, it's a serious athletic ability. And I'm super pumped to be able to showcase them at Women's Rodeo. And it's just another one of those female rodeo athletes. They deserve a spot at Women's Rodeo World Championship. And that is kind of how we really pride ourselves that way. I worked really hard to try to get a bull riding showcase, and I'm going to continue to fight that fight. There's a lot of female bull riders that haven't had an avenue since 2008. The WPRA got rid of all rough stock with the bull riding and the horse riding. And I would love to continue to do showcases and just prove that these ladies have an avenue. And, so there's a lot of kind of back blood, sweat, and tears that went behind it, and a lot of convincing to everybody in the organization that we needed to have a goat tying showcase. And like I said, thanks to Smarty, they came in right away. They're like, heck yeah, you're having a goat tying. We're in. So thankful for them and the people that are, believe in everything that we're doing to have this spot for the 50 to 60 to 70-year-old women to rope breakaway calves and team rope, to the 13-year-old girl that's just beginning her breakaway career, barrel racing career, and then like Sammy Jo said, 183,000 in the heading and the heeling. There's not a lot of all girl ropings that you can go to that have that.
Well, and I think you said it best. You're fighting for all women. All jokes aside, I would have loved to have been a goat tire. I'm just too scared to go fast and dart off my horse it just doesn't make sense to me. But they're amazing athletes. It truly is one of the funnest events to watch, especially at the CNFR and everywhere you go now. And so the thing that you said that really hit it on the head for me is you're fighting for all women's athletes to give them that platform. And you're going to continue to do that each and every year. There's nobody that's excluded. We're fighting for everybody here. And I think that's really what encompasses the WRWC. Like, you guys fight for women, you're fighting to keep building that platform. And that's what's important to me. And so I'm super excited to see that. I know that just having that opportunity for so many of my friends that I college rodeoed with are even probably going to come out and try their hand at it. And so it's just really neat to see you guys are giving that opportunity. It's going to continue to grow. And then who knows, there might be bull riding. And if you would like to do Ranch Bronc, Martha Angeloni, she did that one time too. Absolutely. So she's an all-around athlete. She might do that again. But Sammy Jo, I want to talk to you a little bit about, we've heard the word limited. And I know you and I have talked about this. I have no idea what that is. All right. So I know what a pro is. I know what a challenger is. Like, what is limited? Can you break that down for us and explain it?
Yeah, so the goal for limited is somebody that has not had their pro card in the past 5 years. And we also look at earnings. So we want to know, has this person earned less than $5,000 in their lifetime earnings or less than $3,000 in their annual earnings? And if that's the case, then they can be a limited breakaway roper. So it's really meant for those that aren't rodeoing full time, may not, whether they're on the retired side or just the beginning side or in the middle and they're career women and moms and just aren't making a ton of money throughout the year and in their lifetime. What's cool is our format at the finals will be a 2D for the breakaway. So 2 go rounds and a short round. And then the fastest time from the 3-head average is who gets to go on to AT&T Stadium. And you may draw good and have that one shot at $60,000, and we could see a limited competitor do really well at AT&T. So it's just, again, that chance we really pride women's on this inclusive environment, giving every badass cowgirl, excuse my language, but the chance to compete with us and feel confident when they go out there that, Jordan Joe just went and now I'm back in the box, but heck, I'm competing against all these other limited girls, not just.
And that's my favorite part about the limited and the challenger is that you can get comfortable, right? It is so intimidating to get into a new arena and to back in the box behind Martha or behind Jordan, behind you, and be like, okay, I have to go be one. Well, that might not be the case for the limited or in the challenger roping. You can get comfortable in the limited competition. Like Sammy Jo said, it's a deed. So somebody goes out there and is too flat and you go make a great run at Cowtown Coliseum. And we know that that's probably halfway down the pin and go be 2.5. And still get a chance to win some money and still get a chance to make the short round. And then maybe you come back in your 2 flat and you come back in your 2-2 and you win the average and you're the cowgirl that gets to go to AT&T Stadium in that limited competition. So the deed is going to help everybody get comfortable and to get their bearings and to understand the start and go get your calves roped. And then, the average will play out the way that it is on whoever wins the average is the girl that's going to go to AT&T in the limited. Now in the challenger, it's go round 1, go round 2, semifinals, but still you're competing against other challengers in that competition and you only meet head to head when we get to AT&T. So you can get all of those kind of, maybe I take an extra swing jitters out in the breakaway and still get a chance to go to AT&T. So really, it's my favorite part about the classification system and the tiering that we call it, is that you can stay in your kind of comfort zone. You're going to compete against other challengers or you're going to compete against other limited cowgirls in the breakaway roping and the barrel racing. And then you go to AT&T where everybody gets a little intimidated by the building and the 30,000 people that are there.
You can't even hear it. It's just
it's so quiet.
Quiet. Nobody's even there.
Nobody's listening.
But something really cool that's come out of us adding the limited is seeing, okay, I'm going to use Amy Ort, for example. Amy is still competing as a pro breakaway roper. She's college goat tying and is going to probably be at women's competing in the goat tying. And she's entered herself in the limited barrel racing, which is a 4D barrel race. And so she's loading up 2 or 3 horses to come to our finals and have the chance at the most amount of money she can take home. And she's one example of many that are doing that now, where our $20,000 all around this year is for pros and challengers competing across barrels, breakaway, heading, and heeling. But who knows, 4 or 5 years from now, we could be looking at the all around, including goat tying and heck, who knows what else, if we just continue to raise the bar like we've been doing. So it's exciting.
Well, I could definitely enter the limited goat tying. I would do that. So just let me know if that's an option.
I don't think they have deed goat tying anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a 6D goat tying, like you sign me up and put your bet on the 6D.
I think we need to tell Raymond to get you a barrel horse and you can enter the limited barrel race, because I remember when you used to be a barrel Betty. So come on now.
I will say
that barrel Betty suit.
Yeah, I entered the college rodeo in Stephenville. I shouldn't tell this on myself. It's really ignorant. Twada Gray has the video. I ran her horse, and I wouldn't call it running. It was more of a trot, and I hit all 3 barrels at a trot. So not intentionally either. Like I was trying to get that sucker around. And so I asked Haley Kinzel, you know what I could have done different? And she told me I should just stick to breakaway roping. So yeah, it was really cool. I'm scared to death to go fast. So it's either going to have to be team roping and or last resort goat tying, which nobody wants to see that either. I don't have enough Wrangler jeans to enter that. So no big deal. But it's pretty, I'm just so excited. I mean, seriously, all these opportunities, all these different women that are going to be showing up for Women's Week of Rodeo. It's going to be awesome. So let's dive into what that looks like. We start off with the APHA Cowgirl Gathering, Sami Jo, and then we work our way into the Women's Week breakdown and then finish up at AT&T. Talk about the Cowgirl Gathering. I know that this year we implemented the ID card, right? And I know that was a little bit different for everybody. Obviously, change is hard for, well, we'll say men, not women. No, I'm just kidding. Change is hard for everybody, right? So it was a new implementation this year. We had a $150 ID card, but it starts out at the Cowgirl Gathering. So explain that to everybody.
Yeah, so the W25 ID card, which is what everybody's been competing on, we run in an April to April year. That's our calendar year. So April 13th, our segment closes. April 14th now is when our W26 segment begins for next year's event already. So what we're doing this year is with the Cowgirl Gathering, if you enter that event in the barrels, breakaway, and team roping, you get, or everyone is being charged a $100 mandatory women's office fee. This $100 includes the W26 ID card. That's $150 retail, Jordan Jo. Yeah. And then a nomination for the Open. That's a $200 retail nomination. If you're not qualified to this year's finals, it's a last chance qualifier. We're going to for sure take 8 pros, 8 challengers, and 8 limited athletes out of Cowgirl Gathering into our finals. And so, yeah, nomination, ID card, last chance opportunity, and it's a 2026 qualifier series event. So 4 opportunities for a very discounted price of 1. They've moved the barrel racing. It's April 25th and 26th in Stephenville at the 377 Arena. And then the weekend before women starting, Saturday, May 10th is the team roping, and Sunday, May 11th is the breakaway in Weatherford, Texas at Carrie Kelly's Arena. Pre-entries open March 24th in Next Gen for barrels and breakaway. And at that time, it will charge you that $100 women's mandatory office fee. But yeah, just again, we really pride ourselves in this partnership with APHA. We have a lot of the same mission in bringing more money to the sport. And now for them to give every girl this chance at starting the year off strong with women's, getting a ton of points on the leaderboard, and setting yourself up to compete at next year's finals or this year's finals, again, if you're not already qualified, is just going to be a great opportunity for everyone.
It sounds like you know women, because it sounds like you're saying sell, sell, sell. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or bundle, bundle, bundle. And it's like, oh, but if I buy this, I save that so I can buy more. So it's like, if I buy my 2026 at Cowgirl Gathering, then I can save more to nominate the women's finals, is what I'm hearing.
Cowgirl Gathering has, I believe, 35,000 added in the barrel race, 10,000, 12,000 added in the breakaway, 10,000 added in the team. I mean, the added money that Cowgirl Gathering has is amazing. And the fees, you know, with that $100, kind of cowgirl women's rodeo kind of bundle, like you said, it allows you to compete for us, compete with them, win money all over the place, and then still to be able to have your card for 26 and rodeo on that all year to try to get to women's 26. So, I mean, I got a phone call yesterday to potentially enter the BFI in the team roping. And I was like, well, what are the fees? And looking at it, I'm like, gosh, I should enter a Cowgirl Gathering. The fees are a lot less. But, I mean, all the added money, it's great. And that's just part of rodeo under entry fees and ID cards and all of that. But, we have a great partnership with Cowgirl Magazine. All of our ID cards members are going to get a Cowgirl Magazine. We're working with Western Sports Foundation to do some awesome clinics for our card members on mental health, on nutrition, on how to do performance stuff, on how to, take away your performance anxiety and work on all of those things before you back in the box or before you're going down the alley. I mean, we're with the card, with the women's ID card, you're going to get so much more out of it than just, an opportunity to compete at the largest all-female rodeo in the world with 750,000 added in an all-girl rodeo. But I mean, it's just, there's a lot of people that are coming on with us at Women's Rodeo Championship to partner with us to give our members more benefits throughout the year.
Well, and as an athlete, this is something, and I know I can speak for a lot of other professional athletes, and I would think Challengers Limited. I want to support the people that support me.
Mm-hmm.
That support women in rodeo, that support these events, that go to, being on the backside of it as a producer and as a cowgirl, as a businesswoman, there's so much that goes into everything that we do. And we get to compete at and all of these things that we don't see, that all the work you guys do behind the scenes. And so anybody that's willing to step up and continue to support us, I'm going to support them. And so I would just say, as a cowgirl, as an athlete, everybody listening, like, it is dang sure an investment, but if you want to be behind somebody that's behind you, you need to be a Women's Rodeo World Championship member. I mean, it's a huge investment, and it's paying off. And as I talk about paying off, like, I want to talk about our top 10 money earners. We hear a lot about Martha Angeloni winning a lot of money at this, and she does, but there's 10 other ladies I'm fixing to read you off. Top 10 WRWC overall money earners these past 6 years. Martha Angeloni, $228,000. Hope Thompson, $182,000. Riley Smith, $131,000. Whitney DeSalvo, $126,000. Jackie Crawford, $125,000. Madison Uthier, $124,000. Jimmy Jo Montera, $93,000. Rainey Skelton, $87,000. Megan Gunter, $86,000. And Larry D. Guy, $84,000.
And that's just like the last 6 years.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Just the last 6 years. And I mean, just to know, and not just that, not just the money earners, but even as we're talking about these partnerships that come alongside the WRWC, they've also come alongside a lot of these cowgirl athletes, pros, challengers, they get, limited, goat tires. That just brings in more sources of partnerships for us as athletes, for us as an association, and it's just growing the sport in totality.
Absolutely. Like you said, when we were talking about the back number ceremony and some of the other ancillary things that we do, we're going to have buckle ceremonies. And then maybe my favorite part is to celebrate the ladies that get to go to AT&T with our Cedar Creek Cowgirls, which I know. Yep. See, our Cedar Creek Cowgirls Get Ready party. We have hair and makeup artists that come in. There's nowhere else when you make the short round that they cover you with a beautiful catered meal, and you get your hair and makeup done so that you look good, feel good, do good, right? I mean,
well, I will say last year I tried eyelashes and it was amazing. I looked great, but as I was running through the arena, I could feel one of them suckers almost wanted to fall off. Yeah.
So there goes your lashes, girl.
But I looked amazing because of Cedar Creek Cowgirls. Thank you so much, Michelle Bilbrey. But just to be treated like that, I mean, you don't get that anywhere.
No, and the amount of money, I mean, it's crazy. Like, you say that, like, Martha's won $228,000, and this is our 6 year, so 5 years. Whitney DeSalvo, $126,000. Jimmy Jo, Megan Gunter's won $86,000, and that's not, we hear a lot of Martha and Hope and Larry D, Maddie Uthier and Jackie and Whitney, but you don't hear a lot of Megan Gunter and Rainey Skelton. Like, I mean, those girls have won over $80,000 just going to that rodeo in the last 5 years, and
pretty awesome.
There's just, I mean, and the opportunity is endless for ladies to continue to win. We've adjusted the payout in the go rounds, and all of that will come out when we put the ground rules out, just so that we can kind of open the field a little bit more on ladies, allowing them to win some more money. Like we said with the goat tying, the limited barrel race is a 4D barrel race with 10,000 added. That's to really bring in those ladies that don't rodeo, right? There's so many amazing barrel racers in the country who run barrels, who don't rodeo, who, if you say, I'm going to put you in a rodeo circumstance, they will probably tell you no. But if you tell them there's a 4D waiting for you after that 4D, then you got a chance to make a run, for 60,000, they're probably going to do it. And that was kind of the idea behind the limited and the barrel race, was that here's this spot for all these ladies that go to just a 340 barrel racing jackpot every week who would love a chance to go compete at Women's Rodeo Championship, but don't want to do the rodeo thing. Well, now we got a spot for you as a limited barrel racer in that 40 circumstance. And I don't know. It's just cool. It's cool to think that there's so many ways for ladies to win money at Women's Rodeo World Championship. I was lucky. I got to compete at the first two and, win a little bit here and there. I never got to win the whole thing. And then once I became commissioner, I kind of stepped back as a competitor on that side of it there. But it's just awesome to be able to see ladies winning that much money with a rope or with a barrel horse and not be 9 months down the road working harder than anybody to try to make a living. Because, Wade did that for 6 years. You've been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years. It's hard to make a living going down the road with all the expenses that you have. And you can nominate the rodeos or the barrel races or the jackpots that you're already going to accumulate points on the leaderboard and have a chance to go to Fort Worth, Texas for that week and have your chance at 1.2 million with Cowgirl Gathering and Women's Rodeo World Championship that week.
And don't forget double points.
Double points, March Madness. March. Double points. You can check it out on all of our platforms, Facebook stories, anywhere you can find it. I'm nominating tonight, actually. Cool deal. But that's just one thing I wanted to say. Like throughout my year, especially last year, making it all the way through and really realizing like, hey, somebody's going to win this 60,000. I walked away with 15,000, but 15,000 in one night in 2.3 seconds, like I'll take it. But that's something that I think about all year long and strategize all year long because I want to have my place at Women's Rodeo World Finals. And that's something that is so crucial to me as a pro, but even as a challenger and limited, there's literally an opportunity for every woman who competes. And I think you guys have made that so clear and worked so hard to give every different avenue, every different chance. If you want to show up and saddle up, like here's your place. And so I think that that's something that's super important to me as an athlete. But Sami Jo, I want to touch a little bit on this. I know that you obviously, like I said, are the brains behind this operation and your beauty as well as comes with it. One day we're going to see your daughter competing in this. Tell us a little bit about your history, because I don't think that gets shared enough, and everybody sees you, they know you, they relate to you. We all know why Linsay and I do it, because we cray and we've done this for a long time, and Lindsay's more crazy than me because she's older. But
rude. I
proof,
stay the same age. What are you talking about?
Okay, yeah, we'll check your ID later. So, but Sami Jo, tell us a little bit about your history and how you've gotten involved and become such a huge foundational piece of the WRWC.
Yeah, so I definitely was born and raised with a servant spirit. My dad's a Lutheran minister, and I am first generation to the rodeo world, but pretty much from the start, I had my head down studying rodeo. It just burned within me. I wanted to be a part of it. And it actually started with an internship at the college finals with Susan Canode. And I ended up being the only intern that year. And she still raves how I did the job of 4 interns by myself. And from that experience, I went on to Las Vegas and worked in the TV truck and did anything they needed me to do to help them stay on top of what needed done to broadcast the NFR out to hotels. But then my career in athlete initiatives and really being a part of operations in rodeo started with the American. I went to work for RFD TV, and first year out of college, they needed help organizing all of the athlete communications and schedules, and said, here you go, Sami Jo. And I created the websites, I created the text and communication plans. And from that experience, I spent 4 years really just tightening up the athletes' experience and hospitality at the American. Still really proud of what, impression I left there. And then went on and worked for Tommy Joe Lucia at Days of 47 Rodeo doing similar things. Then got connected with Bobby Moat and Scott Davis. And even though the ERA did not end up doing anything, I am proud to say I was a part of that year, but then have been with WCRA since the beginning and just my heart and spirit lies in helping these rodeos become something so special for the athletes. And sometimes on the operations side, you get so focused on the time frame and how quickly you need people in and out, and you forget that these athletes are bringing their families and they're staying there for multiple days at a time, and it's a huge sacrifice, and they need to be treated the best they've ever been treated, and do everything we can. So again, with that mindset of just having a servant, spirit that wants to bring that to people, I'm just proud to be a part of this brand and make it an awesome experience for everyone.
Well, I first and foremost appreciate that. I know that I've never not left the WRWC not feeling super special. Our goodie bag swags, hello. I mean, yeah, that's amazing. But not just that, just the over and above, customer service and just everything that you do. Just as we're talking through this, I'm like, I know that this is so much information, right? But at the end of the day, there's not a time if I call you, text you, call Linsay, text them. You guys are always working to help find answers, get us the information, direct us to somebody who we need to talk to. And that goes for everybody, not just the pro, not just the challenger, like literally everybody and anybody that needs help. You and both Linsay, everybody on the WRWC team goes above and beyond. So I appreciate that first and foremost.
And magic happens when you have an incredible team that can trust each other and just no matter what has each other's backs. And like you said, picks up the phone, talks in the middle of the night. Linsay and I, the amount of times we call each other on the weekends or when we're feeding cows or whatever. And we're just constant. It's the Super Bowl too, has always been our day of coming up with new ideas.
Very true. Very true.
But
you want those ads and those ideas.
Yep.
I don't know what y'all are coming up with the WeatherTech ad. Coolest commercial ever.
Right.
I'm waiting for coolness to come out of that for you guys.
So I just thank my Lord and Savior for always blessing me with an amazing team of people, because it doesn't happen with one person. We are blessed with an incredible team, and I'm thankful to be a part of it.
I tell everybody, if you need to know if I can join a call or I'm busy, then you need to email Sami Jo, because I can't, I'm non-functional without her. She's the yin to my yang. Like what I see and what she's when it comes together, everything like works out harmoniously that way. And women's rodeo would not be what it is without Sami Jo, and I couldn't do any of what I do without her. And every girl should aspire to be like Sami Jo and how much she gives and cares about this sport, in my personal opinion. And I just adore her, and I couldn't do it without her. And I try to make sure that she's celebrated as much as possible, because she does a lot for the women in this industry, as the director of ops and admin for women's rodeo. And I'm just super thankful for her, because I couldn't do any of what I do without her.
Likewise. Me too. Thank you, Sami Jo. We're woo. And I want to just tell everybody, when you go pick up your back number at Women's Rodeo World Championships this year, like, I'm going to be thinking of Sami Jo. And then obviously I'll see you in your custom. Don't tell us what you're wearing, but we know it's going to be custom. As we walk across the stage, I'm working on my fit plan so that I can be in something cute, sporting across that stage. No ice cream for me until May 17th. Cool. So,
yep.
Where can we go to find out this information? What's coming up? What are some of the deadlines that we've got coming up?
Yeah, so womensrodeochampionships.com. Check us out, Facebook, Insta, TikTok, any social media platform you're on. The detailed schedule will be posted next week, March, or what day is it, Linsay? Help me out here.
Today's the 19th. It comes out, I believe, on Friday.
So definitely be looking out for the detailed schedule. We are super thankful to Cowboy Channel for partnering with us again. They will be broadcasting either live on the Cowboy Channel or in the Cowboy Channel Plus app all of our competition this year. So you'll definitely, or if you can come and watch live in Fort Worth, Texas, Arlington, we hope to see you out there in May.
Yeah. I'm excited, obviously going to be at the Cowgirl Gathering. The week before that, we follow up with Rodeo Corpus Christi, which is another chance to get started on those nominations for W 2026.
Shout out to
Kid Rock. You can be on Team Free Riders, even though you're on the wrong team. It's okay. I get it.
You see me flexing. Okay. Yeah, you won it last year, but we're coming for you. Misty Mountain, we're coming for you.
Team Blue, baby. Free riders.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool, whatever.
We'll
But no,
agree to disagree.
we won't get in a fight on the podcast. It's not polite. So, yeah, I mean, 1.2 million. It's amazing. All the different editions. I know everybody's going to have questions. Sami, Jo, what is the best way to reach out and get some of these questions answered? Like, who is the person that you go to?
Yeah, definitely email our team, support@WRWC.rodeo, and our team will get back to you as soon as possible. That's the best way to reach us.
Yeah. Perfect. Wow. All right. Well, I'm pumped. I can't wait till May. We've got a bunch of things coming up. It's going to be all things women rodeo in April here on In the Loop podcast. We're going to have some amazing guests coming up. I can't wait to talk about them. I don't want to share too much because obviously that would ruin the fun. Thank you guys so much for taking your time, breaking down all things Women Rodeo World Championships Week. Can't wait for May 12th through 14th and on the 17th in Arlington. So thank you guys so much for joining us today on In the Loop, and we will see you down the road.